Before starting the video, I would like you to subscribe, it would help me a lot, thank you. Genya was initially a foul-mouthed and ill-tempered individual, a lone wolf who refused any help from others and did not show any interest in being polite or having any manners. During final selection, he roughly handled Kanata Ubuyashiki by grabbing her hair and yelling at her due to his impatience, and he later provoked Tanjiro Kamado into directly confronting him with physical force as an attempt to defuse the situation. His ill temper and brash way of speaking heavily resembles that of his older brother, Sanemi. He became more open to cooperation during the battle against Hantengu, the upper rank 4, where he worked alongside Tanjiro, Mitsuri Kenroji, and Nezuko Kamado. After some time, he learned to become more sociable and less ill-mannered towards others, particularly towards Tanjiro and his friends. Genya also appears to be very confident in battle, telling Izetsu to focus on him despite the latter already having stabbed Genya with his yari, and later announced his name to the demon and declared that he is the one who will kill him. As a child, Genya was caring and loving towards his family, looking out for them due to their father's abuse and being the second oldest of his siblings. His protective attitude stems from a promise he had made with Sanemi following their father's death, when he stated that it was now their job to be a role model for their siblings and look after their mother. He was deeply regretful of his inability to save his brothers and sisters following their mother's transformation and blamed himself heavily for his own accusation of Sanemi killing her, despite acknowledging later that he was not at fault and she transformed into an uncontrollable demon. During Sekido's near-fatal attack on Genya, he shed tears of regret when he believed he was about to die without ever getting the chance to properly apologize to Sanemi for his harsh words, only encouraged to push past it when Tanjiro had rescued him and placed his faith onto him. Sanemi's refusal to acknowledge Genya made him insecure as he came to realize just how weak he is compared to his companions. Nonetheless, he did whatever he could to help his allies, even if it got him horribly maimed in the process, such as shielding Tanjiro from Izetsu's blood demon art, and playing a pivotal role in the battle against Kokushibo. Despite his brother's harsh rebukes, he bore no ill will towards him, a belief reinforced by Tanjiro and eventually by Sanemi himself. As one of the 5 that survived final selection, Genya possesses a relatively strong foundation as a demon slayer even without utilizing a breathing style. His skills were exemplified in the battle against Hantengu, the 4th strongest upper rank, when he snuck up on 2 of his clones and successfully shot them both and proceeded to decapitate them in quick succession. When he consumed the flesh of Izetsu, Genya managed to overpower the upper rank, stabbing Izetsu into a tree with his own yari and ripping off his head. When Mitsuri Kenroji, the love Hashira, was nearly struck and killed by Zohakuten, Genya, along with Tanjiro Kamado and Nezuko Kamado, managed to save her before the attack connected. After gaining power from Zohakuten, Genya became strong enough to pick up and fling a gigantic tree without much effort, surprising the likes of Tanjiro and Nezuko, and then proceeded to throw 3 more. Genya was also capable of ripping both of Uremi's arms off. Against Kokushibo, the strongest upper rank, Genya consumed his hair and a chunk of his flesh katana, gaining enough strength to develop his own blood demon art which played a pivotal role in the defeat of the upper rank. Repetitive action, a technique taught to him by Gyomei Himejima to help him compensate for his inability to use breathing styles. This technique mainly focuses on Genya repeating a set of words or phrases that assists him to focus on his given task properly and keep his mind clear and block out pain. For Genya, he repeats a set of prayer of the Amida Sutra to help him focus and steel his mind, as seen where he used this technique to focus his mind after being fatally injured fighting Izetsu and to a degree, replicate the effects of total concentration breathing. Demon consumption and empowerment. Genya possesses unnaturally strong jaws and special digestive organs which allow him to tear off and consume the flesh of demons without any adverse effects and tear off even the likes of tree bark. By devouring demon flesh, Genya temporarily gains demonic characteristics, such as fangs, dark scara, and unique yellow tips in his hair. Sometimes, presumably because of how concentrated a demon's blood is, Genya can gain attributes related to the demon he devours, like when he gained Kokushibo's eyes, hair, and demon slayer mark, with his shotgun even gaining the appearance of the upper rank's katana. More importantly, Genya is able to become stronger after consuming a demon. For the most part, Genya gets an enhanced physical constitution, which makes up for his inability to use breathing styles, along with potent regeneration. The physical attributes he gained enable him to outspeed Izetsu and nearly decapitate him, as well as pick up enormous trees and hurl them over tremendous distances quite easily, and rip off Hantengu's arm. His regenerative abilities enable him to heal after Izetsu's technique tore numerous holes straight through his body, though it doesn't allow him to heal from decapitation, with Nichiren swords or otherwise. It also leaves him vulnerable to Nezuko Kamido's blood demon art, which normally only harms demons and objects belonging to them. Upon consuming Kokoshibo's hair, his regenerative abilities were greatly heightened, allowing his severed torso to reconnect immediately and even caused him to hear orders Muzan Kibutsuji telepathically gave Kokoshibo. After eating a chunk of his katana, Genya even developed a unique blood demon art. Dual wielding, Genya utilizes both a double-barreled shotgun with Nichiren cartridges and a Nichiren wakizashi placed on his rear hip. He is shown to excel in blending both long-ranged and short-ranged combat against demons. Against strong targets, Genya usually sneaks up on them to fire his shotgun and switches to using his wakizashi should he fail in doing so. Genya has quite a high degree of marksmanship, being able to shoot off Sekido's head and blow off a huge portion of Karaku's and Izetsu's neck. He also nearly beheaded Sekido even while being shocked by electricity. It has also been stated that he is more adept at using his shotgun than his wakizashi. Vampiric trees, after devouring a chunk of Kokoshibo's flesh katana, Genya developed a unique blood demon art. It is formed out of his altered double-barreled shotgun, which fires flesh cartridges that he can control the path and direction of. Once implanted into the target's body, the flesh bullets grow into gigantic trees that root into the ground, enough to trap the likes of Kokoshibo for a short period of time. As long as the bullets remain in his target's body, Genya can keep activating his blood demon art. On top of being used to imprison enemies, because the trees absorb a lot of blood to grow, it can be used to prevent targets from using their own blood demon arts, as shown when Kokoshibo was unable to unleash a technique with a tree on his back. Double-barreled shotgun. Genya wields a Western-style double-barreled shotgun, which he uses to shoot down targets from afar. Instead of normal cartridges, it fires shotgun pellets made with the same metal used to create Nichiren swords, which allow him to permanently kill demons if he shoots off their necks. After consuming a chunk of Kokoshibo's katana, his shotgun gained a similar appearance to the upper rank's flesh katana, with fleshy veins and eyes, and instead fires flesh cartridges. Nichiren wakizashi. In addition to his shotgun, Genya also carries a wakizashi, a Japanese sword with a blade shorter than a katana's, with two hollow ovals as its tsuba that overlap its core and are a dull shade of brown for its handguard. Along with his sword, Genya also has a sword sheath tied to the rear of his hip. Genya's surname contains the Nanori for immortality, eternal life, and the Kuinyomi Rendaku for river, stream. His first name contains the Goanyomi kanji for mysterious, occultness, and the Kuinyomi for all the more, increasingly. Genya is one of the few characters in the series who does not primarily use a sword and is the only demon slayer named who cannot use any of the breathing styles. Instead, he uses a technique referred to as repetitive action, which acts as a substitute for total concentration breathing. It's important to note that this technique was taught to Genya by Jyomi Himejima, who himself is a breathing user, implying that it is possible to use both techniques in conjunction with one another. Generally, Genya is better at wielding a gun than a sword, as he's very good at hitting targets. Kokoshibo mentions that Genya is not the first demon slayer he has encountered that consumed demons to gain power. In contrast to his brash, somewhat abusive attitude when he was first introduced, Genya has become shy around women. This is seen when he could not say a word to Mitsuri, who initially interpreted his ignorance as hostility, Kanata Ubuyashiki, who he meekly apologizes to for his past actions, which she gently accepts, and the girls who work at the Butterfly Mansion. Due to his unique demon-eating powers, Genya regularly goes to the Butterfly Mansion for health checkups. Genya ranked 15th place in the second popularity poll with 2,589 votes. Genya shares his Japanese and English voice actors with Garfield Tinsel from Wreath Zero - Starting Life in Another World. In Kimetsu Academy, Genya is a first-year student belonging in class Kabosu. He is the shooting club's ace, and despite his hair-breaking school rules, they let him keep it since he wouldn't be able to score bullseyes with a shaved head. This is because he uses his hair to read the wind. He is the younger brother of math teacher Sanemi Shinazugawa. He once won first place in a competition, but his brother stormed the place and ripped his certificate apart, all while screaming, "Who cares about this shit? Learn your damn math." His big body and angry demeanor led to him being misunderstood and friendless. This changed after the competition incident with his brother, to which the students sympathized with Genya and became friends with him. Thank you for watching my humble video. If you liked it, subscribe, like and share the video. See you next time.